The Antikythera Mechanism, the world's first computer. Over a century ago, in April 1901, a team of Greek sponge divers set out from the shores of Symi into the clear, blue Aegean Sea. Their mission was simple: harvest sea sponges from the rocky reefs. Yet when their nets resurfaced, they carried more than marine life. Entangled in coral and centuries of sediment lay bronze fragments, parts of an ornate wooden chest that, once cleaned, revealed statues, amphorae, and something entirely unexpected: a corroded mechanism of interlocking gears. This inconspicuous lump of metal would eventually be recognized as the Antikythera Mechanism, an artifact so advanced it has rewritten our understanding of ancient technology. Radiocarbon analysis of ship timbers and stamps on recovered amphorae date the wreck to around 65 BCE, in the late Hellenistic era when Greek science and engineering thrived. Inscription styles and craftsmanship suggest the mechanism itself was crafted in the 2nd or 1st century BCE, likely in an Alexandrian workshop buzzing with mathematicians and astronomers. For decades, those encrusted fragments rested unnoticed in dusty museum drawers. It was not until the 1950s that historian Derek J. DeSolla Price meticulously examined the remains, identifying gear teeth and dial fragments. Price argued the device tracked celestial cycles, but without the core pieces exposed, the mechanism remained an enigma. The real breakthrough came in the early 2000s. High-resolution X-ray imaging and computed tomography (CT) scans peeled back layers of crust and corrosion, revealing at least 30 interlocking bronze gears, some smaller than your fingernail, and finely engraved inscriptions that guided users through the heavens. The front dial presents a 365-day solar calendar divided into 12 zodiac months, reflecting the Egyptian influence on Greek timekeeping. Behind it lies a secondary dial measuring the moon's anomalistic cycle, its varying speed as it swings between perigee and apogee, enabling eclipse predictions with remarkable precision. On the rear panel, 2 more scales record the 19-year Metonic cycle, after which solar and lunar calendars realign, and the 4-year Olympiad cycle, which governed Greek athletic festivals. In 2020, researchers uncovered a ring of evenly spaced minute holes beneath the main calendar dial, likely used to mark the start of each lunar month by aligning the mechanism to the new moon. This lunar correction system implies Hellenistic engineers understood the moon's irregular orbit well enough to incorporate a compensating gear train, achieving an accuracy within mere hours over an entire year. Such precision demanded extraordinary craftsmanship. A 2023 study in the Journal of Astronomical History and Heritage demonstrated that the gear ratios accurately model the sun's apparent motion with an error margin of less than a day per year. The artisans cut gear teeth with tolerances of 1/10 of a millimeter. No small feat for ancient metal workers. This level of exactness wouldn't reappear in European clockwork until medieval cathedral clocks of the 14th century. Yet the mechanism's fragility has sparked debate. A 2024 article in Archaeology magazine argued that such delicate gearing would be prone to jamming after months of use, especially in maritime environments. Some scholars propose it was a demonstration piece, perhaps commissioned by a wealthy patron to showcase Hellenistic scientific prowess at royal courts or philosophical academies, rather than a tool for practical navigation or teaching. Whatever its intended role, the Antikythera Mechanism's inscriptions, in Koine Greek, include detailed operating instructions and eclipse tables. Fragments reference visible eclipses, predictions for the next 6 months, and the return of the Saros cycle, demonstrating a sophisticated understanding of cyclical astronomy rare in any pre-modern culture. In recent summers, offshore Greek archaeological teams have returned to the wreck site armed with sub-bottom profilers and photogrammetric mapping equipment. During the 2022 and 2023 seasons, they recovered ceramic shards stamped with workshop marks and stray bronze fragments that may join the puzzle. Each new piece, whether a tiny gear tooth or a sliver of casing, brings us closer to reconstructing the complete device and understanding the full scope of its capabilities. Digital humanities specialists have built interactive 3D models, combining photogrammetric scans with historical reconstructions. Scholars can now virtually turn the mechanism's crank and watch the dials update, predicting eclipses, tracking planetary positions, and retracing the precise gear train that once sat in a wooden box, possibly inlaid with ivory or ebony. Intriguingly, some theorists argue the device incorporates a differential gear, long believed to be a medieval European innovation, suggesting that Hellenistic engineers may have pioneered concepts centuries before their time. Why build such a machine? In the Hellenistic era, astronomy served astronomy and astrology, navigation, religious ceremonies, and civil administration. Predicting eclipses carried cultural weight. Celestial events were seen as divine messages that could influence state decisions or determine festival dates. The Antikythera Mechanism's ability to forecast lunar and solar eclipses up to 19 years ahead would have offered immense prestige to its owner. The mechanism also reminds us that the boundary between science and art was porous in antiquity. Gear trains sat alongside philosophical treatises, mathematics informed sculpture, and prisons of bronze gear teeth coexisted with texts in a quest to decode the cosmos. Today, replicas of the Antikythera Mechanism grace museums worldwide. Lyon, Athens, and even Dublin host working models that visitors can crank by hand. These replicas, alongside virtual reconstructions, allow us to experience a tangible connection to Hellenistic ingenuity, holding in our hands an echo of ancient thought. Yet for every gear unearthed, new mysteries emerge. How many mechanisms were crafted? Did similar devices exist outside the Greek world? Why did this tradition vanish, leaving no direct descendants until the Renaissance? The answers may lie in unexcavated wrecks, buried collections, or texts yet to be discovered. In the hushed galleries of modern museums, the corroded fragments gleam under soft glass. They whisper of artisans who, more than 2,000 years ago, transformed bronze into an oracle of time, bridging earthbound craftsmanship and the celestial dance above. If this journey into Hellenistic engineering and ancient astronomy captivated you, don't miss our next dive into history's greatest enigmas. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, and leave a comment telling us which ancient mystery you want unraveled next. Your curiosity powers our exploration. Join us on this voyage through time.